the US dollar forecast and what it means for you and me as American people. And for those who don't know, and it's your first time stopping by, my name is Brandon. And with that being said, we're going to jump right in the US dollar forecast. For the last several weeks, or possibly even several months, or several years, there's been talk about, China over the yen overtaking the dollar. But the only problem that I find with that is, number one, the yen, as far as a currency overtaking a dollar, it will take 10 to 15 years. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, all the gold has to be bought, or the other precious metals that they're planning on backing this currency with is going to have to be bought. It's going to have to be sold. It's going to have to be stored. They're going to have to build. It's so much that's going to go into building this currency that is supposed to take down the dollar. But it could take anywhere from 10, 15, even 20 years or so. But what that means for me and you, that in the meantime, right now, it might cost you a little more money. And if you've been watching my videos or following my channel, I'm always an advocate of making more money, because that's the only way that you're going to beat inflation. Start a part-time business, a side hustle, use that money to invest to buy tangible things like silver, gold, land is a big thing. And depending on where you live at in the United States, you can get some land for really, really cheap. And I mean like 15 to 20 acres for 50,000 all the way up to $150,000. And you better jump on that while you can. And another thing that people have to realize, that regardless whether you're a Democrat or Republican, we sit in a country right now in the morning, if Congress would quit their BS and sit down together and say, hey, we want to stay the world's reserve currency, that they can all just agree and we can all go right back on the gold standard, and it'll totally kill the yen, and which will cause a war. And matter of fact, even if the plans don't go through and the yen or the BRICS nations currency overtakes the dollar, it still might be a war. And speaking of war, that's another good thing about right now, because right now, for those preppers out there or people that like to stay prepared, you can still get ammo at a really good, reasonable cost. But we still have the time in this country to save this country, because with these countries forming an alliance against the United States, it's going to take a long while. And number one, Saudi Arabia, sure, they may not want to trade in the petrodollar no more, but guess what? They're not giving up that United States armed security, that's got our troops over there protecting these royal families. I don't see them giving that up no time soon. And as far as India goes, with them switching over to the yen, now it's just been reported in the news that they are already having problems with the ruble. So they're going to have to suspend trading in the ruble and not even get no more oil from Russia. And then China's getting it from Russia. See, it's too many issues that's got to be worked out. Not to say that it will never happen, but it could happen. And it's moving a lot faster as far as people jumping on board with China and Russia to form this BRICS nations. But it's going to take a long, very long time for it to overtake the dollar. The dollar is still used worldwide as the reserve currency. People still trading it. Matter of fact, the dollar is liquid. If you got US dollars, you can buy US debt for short term, long term, such as a year, 6 months, get a reasonable return if the market's okay. And even if it's not, you can at least get a return on your money. Where else can you get that at? You can't get it with the yen, because everybody can't have yens. The currency is often manipulated to get people to believe that it's, a good currency to be in. But Here we have a better operating system. We got the reserves set up in case we do go back on the dollar, where we could just do it literally in the next 30, 45, 90 days. But as far as the BRICS nations overtaking the dollar, I don't see it happening within the next 5 to 10 years. So if you got a job and you got a business, it's best that you rack up on more assets to produce you more money, and talk with your congressional man or woman, or your local politicians. Let them know that, hey, we need to go on back on a gold standard. We need to form something so that the dollar can remain dominant. Because for one, sure, China might be, making all these alliances and buying up land and, doing all these things. But the United States and the people have more power than any country in America. Matter of fact, it's because the United States, a lot of these other countries have started mass protests, standing up to big government all around the world. And it's because every other country is modeled after what goes on in the United States. People see this, they understand this, and they might be upset at us because the dollar has been used to hurt other nations in a wrong way, but yet they still respect American values and they respect American people. And even in China, sometimes you see they over there protesting. I mean, people watch what America does and model themselves after that. So, for China and all these countries to try to come against us to make, to come off the petrodollar, hey, it's fine. But remember, here in the U.S., we got the upper hand. Only thing we got to do is, hey, talk to your local politicians, email, write to your state senators and stuff, and tell them you want to change. This is the only way that the U.S. dollar will be able to remain dominant for the next 100 years. If you like the video, share, subscribe, comment, leave a message. I want to know what do you think? What do you think? And with that being said, have a nice day.